My beautiful creative creatures. It's Megan. I know I'm in a different setting. I'm trying to record as much as I can as possible. It's been a little crazy, but I'm trying. But we're going to be talking about an Elomir Zoom I was sent. I finally was able to load it up on my phone. So we're going to talk about that today. And then I have two other videos planned for the rest of this week. And I hope you enjoy. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell down below, and let's get started.
Hey guys, happy Saturday.
All right now.
Morning.
Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Morning. Great. How are
Morning.
you?
Good.
Yeah, it's
Good
all
morning. Morning.
Good morning.
This is my first coffee talk, and I'm so excited.
Woohoo. We're excited to have you.
I'm excited to have everybody in my life and be alive.
Amen to that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sister.
Amen.
Yeah.
It's also my first coffee talk.
What's your name?
Bill.
Real quick, how do you guys
Thank you,
facilitate
thank
this?
you.
Is there a leader and we all mute, or what are we doing here?
Yeah, so I'm speaking today. We each take turns. Anyone's welcome to come and host these, but I'm hosting today. Hey everyone, my name's Megan. We haven't met before. I was super involved in the beginning of the launch, and it's been a couple of weeks since I've been here. School started back and things got crazy, so I'm happy to be back. So if you guys could all mute, I have a quick story I want to share with you. Meg, I don't know what you're making, but it better be good.
I'm baking bread from scratch. It's gonna be
Yes. So, while Meg's baking her bread, I want to tell you guys a quick story. And I know that I'm friends with some of you on Facebook, but not everybody. And the story I want to talk to you about is a story that I posted about from the other day. And there's a reason I want to share this story, so just hang tight with me for a second. So the other day, my son is 5, first of all, and since he was 4 months old, he's had this necklace on, and it's one of those Baltic amber necklaces that they say are good for teething, and it helped him a lot. And since then, it's kind of just become his trademark. He's always had this amber necklace on. And 2 years ago, he was messing with a clasp and he lost it. It fell off on the couch, and we didn't find it. It took forever, and he was so upset. And so I was like, "It's cool, buddy. We'll get you a new one." Like, he really felt some attachment to this piece of jewelry. And I said, "That's fine." So we went online and we found him a new one, and he picked it out. And my husband and I, his father, we gave it to him for Christmas. So it wasn't just, random package came on a Tuesday, here's your new thing, moving on. It was a replacement for something that he had lost, that he had felt an attachment to. And then it was also a Christmas present, and it was special and it was fancy, and we made a big deal out of it, and he was so excited to have this necklace back on. So he's had this necklace for about 2 years now. And and it's the second one. So he said, "I feel like me when I have this on," because it's, like I said, it's kind of his trademark piece, if a 5-year-old can have a trademark piece. So he goes to school, and they're sitting next to the door. He's in kindergarten. He and his buddies, they're friends, they're all lined up. And it's the end of the day, and it was like a Thursday. So all of them were tired and silly and ready to be, run around outside and be away from that school setting, and being silly while they're sitting in line. And his friend has a hold of Eli's necklace, and it broke. And the clasp didn't come undone, and it's one of those necklaces that, I don't know if any of you have pearls or anything, but between each bead, there's a knot. So when it broke, the beads didn't go flying everywhere. It just split right in the middle, right down the front. And he was like, what do I do with this? And it was right before pickup. I was right outside the door. I didn't see it happen, but I was like within 10 feet of it happening. And he told his teacher, and she was like, she couldn't fix it either. So she was like, just put it in your backpack so you don't lose the bees. And I was like, okay. So he gets in the car and he's just so quiet. He's never quiet. He talks to me the whole way home. And I know that that's unusual too, but he tells me about his whole day the whole way home. And he didn't tell me a thing. And I was like, buddy, what's going on? Like, what's happening? And he said, something sad happened today. And I feel, I don't know how to feel. And I was like, okay, well, tell me what happened. And he said that his friend, they were sitting in line together. And this friend, it is a friend. And the whole situation was a total accident. But he said, my friend was holding my necklace and we were talking about my necklace and I was telling him about it. And then someone said something and they all got silly and there was flailing around and the necklace pulled and his friends didn't let go of it. And so Eli pulled back and his friend didn't let go and they were being silly and it popped. And he was like, and I don't know how to feel because I know it wasn't on purpose, but I'm sad that it happened and he should have let go and he shouldn't have been holding on it, but we were talking about it and it wasn't a bad thing. And I'm sad that it's broken and I'm afraid we can't fix it. And, you know, a lot of these things come from the fact that, you know, we preach to him to take care of your things and put your things away and not to grab onto your friends and to be aware of what you're doing with your body. Because, you know, have you ever seen a group of kids hug? Have you ever seen that? When small kids hug, they hug in a clump and then they always fall over. It never fails. They always just, someone leans one way and then all of them go toppling over. So like, we always like, it's cool to hug, but then hug and let go. You know, we're always practicing and teaching him to be aware of what he's doing with his body and to be aware of what other people are doing with their bodies and, you know, personal space. And so he was.
This seems like an interesting story and sad a bit for her son. I feel bad. But yeah, personal space is definitely something everyone needs to learn. I try to teach that to my kids too, with that stuff, because it's never good to encroach on people's space. But I get what she's talking about. Hopefully we'll see what else they have to say.
He was so torn because he didn't speak up. He didn't ask his friend to let go whenever they were getting silly. And he was really upset that his necklace was broken and he wasn't sure how to bring all of those feelings together and what to do in that situation. I'm like, he's 5. Of course he doesn't know what to do. So we talked about it, right? He told me the whole story. He told me what he was feeling. And I said, you know, as a parent, I'm frustrated because one, those things are expensive. It was like $35, and I know $35 isn't a big deal, but when you buy 2 of them and then you have to buy a third one, that's an expensive piece of jewelry. And I was frustrated because he was sad. And I was frustrated because every time your kids meet a social situation and they don't know how to handle it, you think, it's just one more step toward growing up, one more opportunity to get frustrated with the world and like take in bitterness. And I could have called the school and complained. I could have called the teacher and complained. I could have found out I know which child it was. I could have called their parents and complained. I could have thrown a massive fit. But when it came down to it, at the end of the day, none of those things fixed the necklace. None of those things would have made my child feel better or to teach my child how to react and how to manage those feelings in situations like that. So instead, I mean, we could have replaced it too, but we didn't even do that. So instead, I went online and I ordered new classes and I ordered new string. And when they come in, they're supposed to be here today. So hopefully they come today. When they come in, Eli and I get to sit down together and rebuild this necklace that was broken. So not only do we take something that was broken, that was sentimental, but we get to make it extra sentimental by building it up again together. So there's one lesson, right? And the other lesson was for me. It wasn't for him. So we talked to him about when someone is pulling on you, you just have to use your voice and say, oh, let go, and then keep going. Like you're not hurting anyone's feelings by reminding them about what they're doing that's inappropriate for you in your space. And it also reminded him that if he was on the opposite side of things. Don't pull on your friend's clothes. Don't grab your friend's backpack. Don't hug for too long and knock all of your friends over. So it was a lesson for him in how to handle those feelings in that situation. It was a lesson for him on how to search for a solution instead of letting loose with anger and frustration. And it was a lesson for me as a parent to do the same thing. And it's so hard to let your babies go out in the world. And if you don't have kids, it doesn't matter. I mean, you know what this is like. As a friend, as a sibling, as a child yourself, like, you know what it's like to watch people kind of wake up to negativity in the world. And as parents, we want to protect our children from the negativity of the world, but also build them up in ways so that they can respond positively. So then clearly, this has been in my mind for the past week or so. And I started thinking about how I would have handled this a year ago. And I don't think that it would have been the same. I'm always striving to be a parent that leads with inspiration and leads with responding in kindness. And I really want him to look for solutions instead of blaming his friend, blaming the situation, blaming the day, blaming the world. I want to lead him and guide him into choosing a solution. And I think as a society, and I don't know if you feel this way too, but I certainly feel this way, and I've done this for years and years. I look around me and say, she made me so mad. I'm not doing any of this today. Or, I can't believe that this happened. I'm not dealing with it. And then what happens? What happens? All of that piles on top of you. All of it. It never goes away because you never find the solution for it. And then you feel like crap. Like, you really do. And so, oh yes, it's 11:11. Thank you, Christina. So like when you have an opportunity to find the solution instead of letting the anger pile on, or you have an opportunity to take that step forward instead of being stuck in your frustration, why don't we do it? What holds you back? What holds you back? I'll tell you what holds me back: fear.
It never fails that these Zoom meetings are basically little mini sermon points in every area for a lot of the reps. It's basically their way of having Sunday service without going to Sunday service. Do I find it to be a little culty? Just a little, because of the fact that you feel the only community you have is through the people that are buying this product. When you can do it through a variety of ways. You don't need to do it through this. You can just do it by joining a group on Facebook if you need to. Or like going to the YMCA, or a variety of ways. And they choose this. Granted, if it helps them, okay, I get it. But there are better ways to do it, and it's just sad.
Fear that after I take that next step, I'm going to hit another roadblock. Fear that I'm going to be setting a bad example for my family and for my child. Fear that someone else will have an opinion about me. None of that matters, guys. None of it matters. Because if you don't step forward, you're always stuck. If you get stopped at every single step, that is okay, because you are still stepping forward. If you choose to not move, if you choose to stay stuck, the only person that you can rest that on is you. That's hard. That's hard too. It really is. Because then that fear that you've been pushing out to the world, that fear of other people's expectations, that fear of other people's opinions, it doesn't matter, because now the only person you have to be afraid of is yourself. Why are you afraid of yourself? right? You don't have to be afraid of yourself. We just have to find solutions. You just have to find the solutions. And the thing that I have realized the past couple of months with building a team, with using this strip, is that now I have given myself the mental space to pause and find a solution. We're in a world where instant gratification is the thing that everybody's looking for. You don't.
But couldn't you also say the strip is the instant gratification in that certain small way? Not that it can effectively work like they say it does, but what they're saying is it's supposed to be that instant gratification to whatever's going on. It's not really doing it. It's very much the like a sugar pill. You know, it could feel like it's working, but it's not. And of course, I forgot the word again, so it's all good. It's whatever. But you get what I'm saying. But this instant gratification that they're talking about, it's still in what they're doing. It's just in a different form. And a lot of people's instant gratification can be from anywhere. So it doesn't just mean that the strip isn't one of them, because it definitely could be. But that's just my opinion.
Have to have instant gratification with yourself. You can take the time and think about it. You can take the time and process, even if it's the 7-minute ride from school to home. And that's the time you take to process and decide how you're going to move forward with things. Take the time, but don't let yourself get stuck, guys. Just don't. It's not worth it. You owe yourself more than that. You deserve more than that. You deserve more than getting stuck. And there are so many things that you can apply this to. Your family life, your social life, your business. Don't get stuck, guys. 1 no doesn't mean that the next person is not going to say yes. 10 no's doesn't mean the next person's not going to say yes. But when you pause to back up and think about where you're stepping, step forward and be confident. And your choices, and the rest of it will just come up behind you. It'll all come, I promise. And I can promise that because I've been experiencing it. It's just I took the time to pause and be intentional with the steps that I'm taking and not let myself get stuck. And this is not one of those things too that, once you figure it out, it makes it easy. It doesn't. It's still hard, but when you figure it out, it gives you the space and it gives you room to grow into those steps, into that positivity and into finding those solutions. So I really, really felt driven to share that story with all of you. I really wanted to share my experience, and yes, space and grace, Anna, that's it too. It's space and grace to process, to find solutions, and to step into those solutions. And so that's what I really wanted to encourage you with this week, and really kind of get you in the headspace that it is okay to take the time. It is okay to have that space, but it is not okay to be stuck, because you will just feel worse and worse and worse.
I feel like she's almost saying, like, if you don't get any customers because you feel stuck because no one's saying yes, you're not allowed to feel that way because that's bad. And it all ties back to toxic positivity, which is not good, not a good mindset to have in that way, because believe me, I lived that for a long time, and I didn't realize how bad that was, that it was not helping me in a lot of ways, because it would not let me face doing things for myself that would actually help, like counseling or anything else like that. So if you're constantly told, like, everything's gonna be okay, even when it's not, and you know there's other ways to get help, you can't base it all on, like, it'll be okay. That's not it. And if people say no, there's reasons they say no. And you can't be mad that they're saying no. So there's that.
And in the industry that we're in and in the space that we're in, our jobs are to encourage other people to feel better and better and better. And if we can't do that for ourselves, how are we going to do that for other people? Right? So is there anyone else who has felt these similar feelings? Has anyone felt these, this calmness, this space that we've given ourselves with this supplement and with these coffee talks and with this community? Has anyone else felt this? I can't be the only one. Throw your hands up. Let me see. Does anyone have a story that they want to share? I see Rosette and I see Julie. Rosette, do you have a story to share for us? Can you share? I know you're traveling. I see you. Are you on a train or on a bus?
On a train. Yeah, I'm on a train. I'm on a train in Switzerland.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, like what you said, the calmness in all of us is something that I think a lot of people have not felt in the past. And it's just amazing how even with all the stress going on around, I mean, just getting on the train, it's so stressful. People are kind of like pushing each other, but it just doesn't make me irritated like I used to be.
Right. And then when everyone's throwing elbows, you can find the space to get away from them.
Absolutely. And of course you have to kind of like relate to, because you all go through the same scenario every time you get on the train. Some people, tugging their luggages, pulling their stuff. You tend to kind of like have that feeling that, hey, I have to be compassionate. I have to be at least holding my temper, because I get tugged. I mean, I get pushed, but unlike before, I get irritated so fast. But now I'm so calm, and it just, something that I've never felt, I think, in all my adult life.
Right.
It's a shame to say, but it's true.
And and where you are physically in that situation, there you look around and all those people, every one of them needs what we have. Every one of them could benefit from this. And I think that is why we are in such a unique position.
And they always stress that everyone needs it. You know what everyone needs? Or at least from the fact that she was on a train in Switzerland. Everyone needs to go to Switzerland. I've heard it's like a great country. But that's just my opinion. I want to go. I want to go to all those areas because they're beautiful and they have universal healthcare, and yeah. So that sounds pretty great to me. Now I just want to try the food there too, but I would just love to go to Switzerland. So that's just me throwing random stuff right now, but let's listen to what else she has to say.
As brand partners and as people who are taking the opportunity
yes, absolutely,
to find that mental peace. And I think that is if we can be the calm and the peace and the light in other
Yes.
people's worlds, even if it's not with a strip, even if it's just by setting a good example and how to handle
Yes.
stressful situations, then that's great. Then that's what we're here for. So,
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I just wanted
Yeah.
to throw that in there.
yeah, thank you. Anyone else have anything to share? Julie, I saw you next. Did you want to share anything, or are you just agreeing to?
No, I do want to share because this week, sorry,
No, please.
I've had people shut me down for this, for sharing, and that's okay. That's okay. I let them move on, and I thank them and I bless them. And some people that have really said hard no, I literally like unfriended me, whatever. And they're coming back around and they're like, "What has changed in your life?" And now they want to be a customer. So don't leave them with
The emotional tie and reaction she had just to saying that people said no and like hard no's is like deeply saddening, because you can tell these visceral reactions from how far in they are into the MLM sphere. Like, they need to find another area to obviously be in, but they're not going to see it that way. You can't really stop a grown adult from doing what they want to do. It's hard to do, but but the visceral reactions are what's sad, because they have this strong emotional tie to this strip that you don't know if it's really actually doing what they're saying it's doing, because they don't have like a third party outside of the company to test it and see how accurate it is. So it's frustrating, because they're gonna believe it regardless of if you say how accurate is it to doing all the things they say it's gonna do. They'll just say it is. But anyway,
a bad taste in their mouth. Just thank them. And I always tell people I'll be here when you come back.
Yes. That's it too. And I think that when we are coming from a positive place, and we are coming from a place of support and grace and kindness, that they feel that. And even if they're not ready for that, that doesn't mean that it should change our behavior. That doesn't mean
Right.
that we should take that on. We can be, they see that. Obviously, they're coming back. They're seeing the
Right.
differences in you.
And our posture is really what Michael Mansell said, is just don't shoot them down because they're struggling on their own and they just aren't sometimes willing to share that with you. And I think when we put ourselves out there, we're real. I mean, I had knee surgery this week, and
maybe they don't want to share certain things with you because they know you're going to use those pain points as a way to urge them to do it, because then they'll be like, oh, it'll help with this. When their main use of the strip was calm and energized. And then they kept adding the same things every MLM diet, Terry supplement type thing ever says, is like gut health and XYZ. So it becomes a little questionable when you are saying the same things over, but when your main point was this, why don't you stick to the main point? That's what's frustrating, hearing they add more just to get more people in. And it's like, if it's meant for this, just keep it at that. Okay? Just keep it at that. Even if it may not actually do that, but keep it at one, like the same thing that you said before.
Wednesday was a really horrid day. But no, it's okay. It needed to be done. And I just, Thursday I got up and I was pain management, and I still took my strips, even though I knew they weren't basically doing anything. They were still helping the internal stuff. But people were like, "Oh my God, you just had major surgery on Tuesday, and you're on with us on Wednesday." And I said, I can't let it consume me. That is not how I work, and I do better when I.
But if you have major surgery, you need to dedicate that time to not being on a Zoom call. Like, granted, maybe in the way that she's doing it, it doesn't affect her healing process and if she's able just to relax and do what she needs to do. But to feel so strongly that you need to be working, even after surgery, is crazy because every other job out there will give you those health benefits. Granted, they're not the greatest, but they do give them. And the fact that they see nothing wrong with working nonstop. Even I don't work nonstop. Like, okay, I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I do work nonstop, but it's a different type. I do content creation and like TikTok and another thing, but that's like in my free time, you know, I make sure I dedicate time to YouTube, at least so I can get videos out. Because if I can't get videos out, I want to be able to get further along. That's all I want. That's all I want to do, is be able to get further along. So, but there has to be some balance, and if there's no balance, it's gonna go crazy and be hectic. And they need to realize, but they're not going to probably for a while, how all-consuming the job they have is, because all it is based on is all it is based around is recruitment and selling the product. And granted, selling product is a good thing, but it's hard to sell a product when they're so expensive. So there's that.
Focus on other people, because then I don't feel the pain. So anyway, sorry.
Right. No, that's okay.
Sorry.
I'm so glad that you shared that with us.
Yeah.
But it's true. And it's not just the physical pain for recovery, but also that those emotional pains, like, you know, you have to process that. You have to deal with that. You're going to have to heal, you know, and that it's okay. But it's important that we give ourselves the space to do that. And then also not to take it out on the world around us. And I feel like that's, as a society, that's kind of what we're driven to. We're driven to looking for a place to blame or a place to be angry at, instead of just pausing and looking for a way to handle things in a positive way.
And we don't have to continue to defend ourselves. It's okay to push people to the left and say, you know, there's a box for you. And you don't even have to say it, but, you know, internally, where you just say, I'm going to put you over here, because right now I've got some people that are really okay with hearing what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And it works better because you don't get frustrated and you're not continually trying to prove yourself, because you've already done that.
Yeah. And it's with the whole other people's opinions things, they can feel however they want to feel. Everyone's feelings are valid. If you're angry, be angry. You know? Just you know, it's how you handle it that makes the difference. And I just feel like as a group here, how we handle it is different than how a lot of other people are handling it. And you know, that if that is their only influence that you have on anyone around you, even, like I said, even if they never become a customer, if you can be that positive light for people, sometimes that's enough.
Imagine if we were all like that every day.
Right.
What a difference the world would be.
Exactly. Yeah. And the reason I was sharing it from a child standpoint is that when we get to be the influences to people who are around us, you know, just because in my story, my child is 5, that doesn't mean that the 16-year-old boy who is angry at the world shooting hoops isn't going to overhear you having a kind conversation with your own child. It doesn't mean that your coworker who's having a really, really rough year doesn't need you to just sit there and be positive and kind and supportive. And I think it's just so important for us to be that for people, because I've found personally that when I am more of that for people, I maintain my calm, maintain my steady, and I'm kinder to myself, that it is easier to be that for other people. And then the more I am like that, the kinder they are to themselves. And then the better the whole space is. I love that. I just love that. Mark, did you want to share something?
You bet your bottom I do. This is incredible. Hey everybody, my name is Mark D, and I'm a new brand partner, and I joined this group, and I'm passionate about this movement first and foremost because it says people before product. I believe, even though that there is money involved, this is an altruistic movement. It's an act of charity first. And if I get a couple of dollars and cents in my bank account, I am not mad at that whatsoever. Listen, what you shared in my perspective is this. I was taught from another place and another time and another fellowship that I need personally, that if I can be more childlike, not childish, my life is so smooth. Because if we watch children play, although that young boy didn't let go and your child didn't let go, or however that went, I guarantee that your son was not filled with resentment and anger and fear and frustration. He was just like, why, mommy? I love this necklace so much. Why did that happen? And he was asking his mother for help. So when we watch children play, I can remember back when I was a child, or hearing it from a friend of mine who has children. I don't have children. If we watch children play, they might get in a tussle playing football, but then it's on to the next play, and there's no resentment, and there's no what I call being scrunchy inside. When I'm all scrunchy inside, I'm scrunchy to the outside world. But when I put on a new pair of glasses every morning and I get centered and I focus on my perspective on life, I'm no longer what you were describing as a victim. I'm no longer what you were describing as selfish. I'm no longer as what you were describing as resentful. So I can look at the world in a whole new way. So if it doesn't apply to me, I let it fly. I will not let anybody invade my spirit, meaning you can put me anywhere in the world. I'm in a hospital right now that cannot treat my mental illness. So instead of being laying in bed and eating food and watching TV and not being proactive, I get up and I exercise and I do Zoom for another place and I do Zoom here. And I'm proactive in my own recovery, because if I'm not, no one else is going to be. And I need to compliment. What was your name again? I'm sorry. The lead of the meeting. What was your name again?
My name's Megan.
Megan, I got to compliment you, because I'll put it like this, right? So if I'm to look at a duck on water, right, they're just moving so calmly, but underneath their feet are moving 5,000 miles an hour. They're working so hard to stay calm inside, so we project that calmness out to the outside world. So while you're working so hard at being a mother, your child doesn't see the work because you're just floating along giving that advice. And I think that's so rad. I think it's so underrated. And I think that, you know, it's unfortunate that we're probably not going to ever meet directly in the middle as a society and as a nation and as a world, because there's not everybody has the solution, so to speak. For instance, my dad, the poor guy, is so scrunchy inside, and he came to visit his son who's in the hospital yesterday. And I'm in business. I own his former business. And there's two different types of business. There's a businessman and there's a man in business. My dad was a man in business for a very long time, but I can learn off his mistakes to become a businessman. And I needed to go over some finances with him. So
The fact that he's talking about this in a mental hospital on a laptop, which I don't know for certain if that's normally allowed, because I've had family in hospitals like this before, so I personally was never in one, so I can't speak from any experience, but I didn't think that was normally allowed. You guys comment down below if you happen to know. Maybe I can also look that up, but I don't think that's normally allowed, and I guess it depends maybe on how bad he was doing mentally, so maybe it's okay, but the fact that he's doing these Zoom calls and he's in a mental hospital speaks volumes to how much of a target that they go after, and not in the good way to help them, because it may help a little bit, but if you're choosing someone who's so mentally like fragile and you go after them for this product, I'm in my opinion, you seem like a pretty crappy person, but that's just me. When you know that they could have the actual help that they need, thankfully he's in a place that can give them actual help. But it's just sad. It's sad. It just makes me angry. He deserves so much better.
it was very direct and very honest and upfront. And here's the numbers, here's the X, here's the Y, and it equals Z. And he was so scrunchy. He's like, what the F are you talking about? Blah, blah, blah. and all this. And that's, it's unfortunate, but that's how he views the world. So I give this example. If he's expecting a FedEx check for $3,000, which was this week, and it's supposed to be there between 12 and 5 p.m., the bank is closed at 5, the deposit cannot be made. My dad's name is Gene. I'm like, listen, Gene, here's the situation. What happened? He's like, well, you wouldn't effing believe it. The damn effing FedEx didn't get here till effing 5:15, and I'm effing frustrated. I said, Dad, is the check made out to you or to the business? Because the business would follow me. He's like, it's made out to me, but that's not the point. I said, okay. If you deposited it after 4, would it be available tomorrow? He said, no, but they were still late. I said, okay. So you have a check that's written out to you for $3,000 that you were expecting that makes you feel whole. We just can't do anything with it right now. I need it now, not later. So I said, Dad, on the count of 3, I took him through an exercise. Deep breaths, by the way, for everybody, are highly underrated. I do them all day. And he actually did it. He did a deep breath with me. I said, Dad, take the check to the bank tomorrow morning, and if you really need the funds, go to a check cashing place and pay the 10% out of $3,000 is penny, whatever, and then you have your money. Now, he couldn't hear a damn word I was saying because he's still so scrunchy. But the point is, I can't receive his negative energy and give him negative back, because then he's going to go project that on my dying mother or on my my sister or whomever. So I'm responsible for how I receive you. I could have received you in the morning like, man, she's bragging about being a good mom. But no, I'm clear and I'm centered inside, so I can see that you're pure and you're honest and you're just trying to show through your experience. I learned through my experiences, good, bad, and indifferent. And I really learned through my bad experiences the most on what I don't want to be. And then through my good experiences, I'm then that duck in the water working real hard, but nobody knows, because I don't need anybody to know I'm centered and I can receive you any way you come. And what's going to happen is I'm going to put the positivity, them vibrations out there, and I'm going to receive them back. So I was worried this morning, who's going to be the nurse and who's going to be this, who's going to be that. And I have a routine where I work out and then I clean the room, and then, I keep myself busy, business, phone calls. I slept till 6, which is abnormal for me. The nurse is really kind. The person with me is really kind. I did yoga for an hour. I taught someone how to work out properly, and now I'm here with all you beautiful people. So it's how I view the world. The world isn't the problem. If I find something disturbed in you, it's because I'm disturbed in me. So I need to uncover, discard, and discover me. And I don't
know if I entirely believe that comment. If I find something disturbed in you, there's something disturbed. No, sometimes there's just some things that are in people that you cannot change, regardless of how much you may try to help or just work on yourself. If you're able to work on yourself and they still are acting that same way, then that's not normally a you issue, it's a them issue. Because if they act a certain way and you're not reacting to their actions, that's normally not something that falls on you to do. And yeah, so I'm not sure if I entirely agree with that, but it is what it is. But I don't know if, like I said, I don't agree with that statement. It seems kind of broad and very direct, like spot on, which I don't think it is. There are plenty of times when you could be the nicest to anybody and even be considerate and understanding, and they can still do the same thing to you, even when you didn't know why they're doing it. But it's not on you to do anything for them in that way. You can't expect any change if they don't see a difference, or they don't see a reason to change. So that's just how I take it. But I don't know if I believe what he's saying to the full extent. You let me know what you guys think, because it's just crazy, like the fact that he's in a mental hospital right now and on the Zoom. I feel bad.
Love myself yet, but I appreciate the hell out of myself, and that's a lot better than August the 8th when I entered the hospital. So I'm getting the chills. I'm really happy to be part of this. I just became a brand partner the other day, and there was a little bit of like tumultuousness between myself and who entered me into it, but we're friends and that's all fine. And I got to speak with Van one-on-one, which was just magical. And I can't sell you something if I don't believe in it. I can sell fire to the snowman because I'm good with my mouth, but I don't want to do that. I want to sell something that I believe can help people. And I'll end with this. I've had 15 brain surgeries and I'm still here. 15, not 5, not 4. I don't even know how many I've had, to be perfectly honest. So I started taking the strips about 2 weeks ago and I ran out. And now I started to have I can't join my hand, right? It won't work, but before it would. So they did an EEG, they did a CT scan, they did an MRI with contrast, and nothing came up. So finally, I was like, Doc, let me just keep it real with you. I'm using this product. And he researched NAC, and he came back, and he was like, get directly back on that product. That's the problem. So my trifold came yesterday, and then I'll get back on the product today, and I'll keep you guys updated. But I guarantee these two little guys that don't want to be friends, they'll be friends by the time I get a strip from them. That's all I got. You guys are amazing. If everybody, I'm going to put my Facebook and my TikTok and all in there. If everybody can send me a request and follow me. I'm trying to reach the world to just tell people it's okay to have mental illness. It's okay to have PTSD. It's okay to ask for help. Because if I ask the world for help, guess what? There is a million people that love Mark B when I can't love Mark B. Thank you so much for your message. It was really powerful. And thanks for, listening to me. This was awesome. I'm going to stay on. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mark. I really appreciate you sharing all that with us. And yeah, you're right. It is about perspective. And I wanted to respond to your comments about, oh, she's just coming on here bragging, because I considered that. I really thought about that, because I made the Facebook post a few days after it happened. And I was like, oh, I don't want this to be like the Megan show. I don't want this to be everyone like, oh, like there she goes again, being a mom. Because it wasn't about that. It was about the fact that I found that perspective, and that I wanted everyone else to find that perspective too, because it was such a peaceful perspective, and I want everyone to feel that peaceful. And so I thought about whether or not I wanted to share that here, but it's settled so deeply, that experience, and then that I realized that I've been experiencing more and more of that lately, that I thought, we need to talk about this. We need to talk about this because it's important. And, there are a lot of things, especially in this industry. Network marketing can be cutthroat. People can be mean, like straight up mean for no reason. And there's no need for that. And
I'm going to disagree. The cutthroat is for a reason. It's because they're trying to get as many customers or recruits as possible. That's the reason. The reason it's cutthroat is because you can only get so many people out in the world to join you without meeting people in another MLM as well. So there's the reason. You guys are oversaturated. It's not like a flip of a switch there. It just, all right, what am I trying to say? Maybe not that. But to expect not the reaction that they're talking about, you'd have to be more available to change the way that they do things and have it be just in a regular company that pays you hourly and has like salary people and all that stuff in order for it to make a difference. If they don't want cutthroat, they need to change the model. But their model is meant for people to be poaching people and going after their friends and family and all that stuff. So it is a very cutthroat thing, but if they changed it, it would be less likely to have the amount of cutthroat aspect to it, if you get what I'm saying. There's no way that there can't be with how they run this model. They choose not to change it, they're going to still get it forever. Plain simple.
I have to say that I have been seeing a lot of, and I don't mean to genderfy this whole situation, but they have those memes that are everywhere and that I've been seeing, and it's like the real queens hold up the other queens. The real queens fix each other's crowns. Right. And it's true. And it's quiet. When you fix someone else's crown, you're not shouting out to the world that, oh my God,
oh my God.
Right?
God. Oh my God, I'm just connected. I'm sorry, but keep flowing.
Okay. But it's quiet and it's steady and it's slow and it's patient and it's kind. It's not a show, you guys. It's not a show. And so the hard thing about working toward a world like that and using a supplement that helps us be more like that in a space like network marketing, it's okay if it's not fast, because what we're doing and what we're striving for as a group is that kindness, is that patience, is that space and the focus on what we need to be doing and the things that are important. And it's not fast, it's not flashy, it's solid and real and long lasting. But sometimes that means you start a little slower. And we need to be patient and realize that it is okay to be quiet, and it is okay to be slow, and it is okay to take that time. So, and like, it truly, that happens in everywhere. And it's that instant gratification. It's that, chasing after the shiny baubles. Those things don't last. But what we have as a team and what we have in this company, they do last. And I think that is so, we need to hang on to that.
All I hear is church sermon, church sermon, church sermon.
For our peace of mind and for our businesses, because I think that if we can hang on to that and we can keep stepping forward and we can find those solutions and be the sunshine for people. The sunshine, it's bright, right? It's bright and steady and warm, but it is not fast. Doesn't yell to you, pay attention to me, pay attention to me. It's just patient and good. And, we've got this little strip that brings a little extra sunshine to our days, and there's nothing wrong with being patient and offering it to other people. Whether or not they snatch it up right away or they snatch it up 2 weeks from now, that's on them. It's not on you. So, all right.
Everybody, say one more thing to you real quick?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I forgot one thing. I get so excited when I'm passionate about something. I'm still recovering from these brain surgeries, so sometimes my brain is ahead of my mouth. You mentioned fear, and you mentioned fear, and I wanted to jump through the screen and give you a spiritual hug. Because here's the situation. I'm afraid of everything. I'm afraid of what's in the mail. I'm afraid of the voicemail. I'm afraid of the collector. I'm afraid of the bills. I'm afraid of everything. But if I step back for a second and I say a prayer to whatever God you pray to, I'm not going to make this religious, but if I say a prayer to my God, please help me walk through this fear. On the other side of that fear is the most forgiving freedom I've ever experienced in my life. So when I'm afraid to ask for help and I'm afraid you talked about being judged. I lived my life through your head and Cindy's eyes for the longest time. What is she thinking and why is she looking at me like that? So dress up the outside while the inside's dying. And then it finally got to the point of desperation where I put myself out there and I asked for help and I got gut level honest. And the freedom I'm experiencing now is just undescribable. But I was so afraid of being judged because Mark B's got the business and Mark B has the house and Mark B has the car and Mark B has the woman and Mark B has the money. But Mark B's dying inside because those things are not real. Yeah. What's real is how centered is my heart and am I really being authentic? And you mentioned being real, and that is just so true. There's many masks that we can wear as humans when we're sick and suffering inside. But when I take back, we have an onion. When I peel that onion back and I uncover and I discard and I discover who I am, I'm Mark B now, man. I'm back. I don't want to hurt myself. I want everybody to celebrate life with me. And if you can't celebrate with me, I'll show you how I celebrate, and then I'll join you when you're ready to, be on this journey with. Thank you so much. That's all. I'll shut up now.
No, it's okay. It feels good, doesn't it? It's like a confidence boost that you didn't even know you needed. It really is. Like when you know you're doing the right thing and you're acting with patience and you're acting with kindness and you're stepping forward past that fear, it's a confidence booster. And when you find those solutions and all those things aren't piling up on you anymore, it's so freeing. It's so good. It's so good. So I don't want to keep you guys too late. I know that it's Saturday, but thank you so much, all of you, for joining me here and letting me speak my heart to you. And if you have, like Mark said, if you have any questions, if you want to chat, I'm always happy to build each other up. Like that's why I want to be here too. So, Shanna, did you have anything? Brandon, do you guys have anything you wanted to share before we say goodbye?
I was actually just gonna say that Anna had her hand up for a while, so I didn't know.
I didn't see.
Anna, did you want to speak?
I was just going to share, like, giving people space and grace. Probably, I've been driving for 44 years. And this last week, I got to experience it firsthand. I was in the middle lane. The lane to my left was the turn lane. And then on my right hand, we were supposed to go straight. And the guy on my right, never had this happen in all the years of driving. He literally shot out and then cut in front of me to go this way. And I mean, I could have been, because I tend, I'm a redhead. I tend to be kind of like the fried green tomatoes. I have more insurance than you. And I probably would have just nailed him. And it was like instantaneously, I realized this strip really works, because I just kind of stopped and I laughed at him. I was like, what an idiot. I couldn't help but think that, because I thought, here's this other traffic coming this way. I don't even know how he got out of there without getting smashed. But it was like the first time. I mean, there's a lot of areas where you see the strip working with you, giving grace and space to others.
All I hear when they talk about the strip, basically, and I never put two and two together with any product any other MLM has said, but it feels a lot like when people that say they're saved are like, oh, that's God, or that's Jesus working. Is it though? Because there are plenty of times when, if you reacted the same way any other time, you wouldn't have said that, and nothing was in your system then. But they want to put all that adoration and to be that strip, because what else would it be? It wouldn't just be, maybe you realize, why am I getting upset, or whatever. Why are you not just blowing it off? Because sometimes you just do. You just learn to blow it off, because some things are not worth getting upset over. Sometimes they're not, and you can't. It's either you're choosing to grow or you're not. So I just see that as more of like a growing experience, not because you need to give your, like, all the props to the strip, when in reality it's probably not the strip. It's probably just you. So I don't know, that's just how I view it, but we'll finish up a while.
But this was the first, because I have to be, when I'm driving, I want to be at the front of the line. I love speed. I'm kind of aggressive when I drive. I'm going to be the first to tell you that. But it was the first time it really dawned on me. The strip has mellowed me out on the road. I am not the crazy redhead on the road, So I wanted to share that, because I mean, it was like that aha moment. This stuff is working in a different area than I even expected it to work, because I just gave them the space.
Yeah. And I to follow up with that, like, it seems like once you realize it's one thing that it's doing something for you, then you start to see all the other things that it's doing too. Yeah. So that's very cool. I'm glad that you're okay. that wasn't a horrible situation.
I couldn't believe it. I've never experienced anything like that. But it was like,
yeah.
It's only in Indiana.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us.
I think that this was an amazing call. Megan, thank you so much. And Mark, Anna, everybody who shared today. I think that I just want to share this with you guys, is that I was sitting here and, I have I'm muted and, but I started crying today, because I just feel like exactly what you said, Megan. The community here and knowing what we're here for and what we stand for, and that we have true substance, not just a, shiny ball or this that we're doing, this is what it's all about. And the people that understand that are here right now, and really, really working towards making a community and looking for those right people to get this product in their hands. And so it was kind of my aha moment for a minute here, because there's been so much noise. I'm going to call it noise, right? Going on in this company because we're new, right? We're brand new, and it grew so fast, and so many people just, it was very, very, and I hate this word, I usually don't try to use it, but overwhelming, right? Because it just grew so quickly. And I think that a lot of people, and I'm just going to say this, were here for the wrong reasons, right? And it was a new company.
I'm not sure how, in my own opinion, how you can say people are there for the wrong reasons if you're promoting it the way they do. In every MLM, they promote it the same way. It's the opportunity to make money. So you're going to be mad at someone because you told them about an opportunity. Baby. Okay, here, let mommy finish this real quick, okay? Here they are, mommy. But you can't be mad at people or say they're joining for the wrong reason when you're promoting it in such a way that it's a business opportunity. And people are willing to join because they want to make money. It's not a bad thing, but you can't say that they're doing it for the wrong reason. So.
And it was something that was exciting, and people just like ran towards it, but they didn't even really know what it was. Right? And now we're just starting to develop a flow. And what I mean by that is starting to learn about each other and starting to grow together and starting to really figure out what this is all about. And that takes time, and it takes shedding. So I don't know if you guys saw my post about shedding, right? And what I mean by that is that it's okay. It's okay for people to leave. And I think that was the most aha moment I had, was right now when I said, it's okay. It's okay for people to leave. Because we are here for the right reasons, and we do have a product with substance, and we can help so many people. But if that is not the reason that you're here, you're not going to see that. You're going to be blind to that, right? So I just wanted to end this with this, guys, is that, you know, a lot of people are missing out on these calls, these types of calls that we do. And they'll say things like, oh, you know, I just don't feel connected. I don't feel this. I don't feel that. But it was my aha moment, because I said, if you are here, there is no way. There is no way that you don't feel that. There's no way that you don't feel that community, because Mark came on here, and I don't know about you guys, this is Mark's first.
That seems a little gaslighty to say that. There's no way that you can't feel that. So you are instilling the cult-like behaviors of you, like there's no way you can feel a community when you join, but you want them to just instantly feel it. If they don't feel it, that's okay. They don't have to feel it. But it's not up to you to be like, how is that not possible? Like, that seems a little gaslighty.
You know, call with us, but how many of you love Mark already? Like, right? And to me, that's community. That's community, right? So with that being said, because I'm crying, and I'm glad I don't have the thing on. I'm a crier. But I appreciate you guys so much. I appreciate each and every one of you being here on Saturday mornings. You don't know how this brightens up my day. And Megan, thank you so much for giving me an aha moment today. We all have those sometimes, and today this was mine. So that's it. That's all I have for you guys. I want you guys to have the most wonderful weekend ever, and let's go out and help as many people as we possibly can.
Thank you, everyone, so much. Thank you, Shanna, for inviting me to do this. I'll talk to you guys all soon.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so that was that. I hope you enjoyed. It was very cringy, very culty. I did not like the fact that a guy's in a mental hospital and he's on the team. And the fact that she said that last statement about how if you just join and you don't feel the whole community feeling, that seems a big gaslighting. And I don't like that. So, we're going to talk to you guys tomorrow. And I will see you soon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell down below. Trying to hit 700 subscribers by the end of the year. Hopefully 1,000. But, 700 would still be good. And I'll say hi, Athena. Alright, so we'll see you soon. Bye.